rocking and rolling. Lights, camera, action.
And it's lights out, away we go here in the British Grand Prix.
Man,
that was the most American. I mean, even though I'm not American, but it sounded American.
I gotta say, as much as that was an incredible race, I'm super happy the British Grand Prix is over. I could not take another minute of Sky Sports telling us how great the British fans are, how great Silverstone is.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
It's great. Every 5 minutes there was
I
like a wide shot.
about that too.
They're like a wide shot up. Oh, the fan support.
And they're all Lewis fans too. Like it's not even like there's any like Jolyon Palmer fans, you know? Like where's Jolyon's love?
They didn't even care about like oh yeah, Johnny Herbert, whatever. Lewis Hamilton. But it was just like after Friday, I watched some of free practice, same thing. Qualifying, okay. But race day, it was just like every other minute it was something. And I get it, like it's your home race. It's the home race for all the teams. It's a great track, great fan support. But I'm
F1 is coming home, like they say.
Oh, that really bothered me too.
In the World
Cup. That really bothered me.
The other thing, since you're wearing your World Cup jersey, when you're watching it from British commentators and then you're watching an England game, they always say, and we're going to do very well against this team. It's always we, where every other team, it's like, oh, Croatia or oh, Russia, I
mean, I'd do the same thing if I was like doing a Canada game. I'd be like, we're bringing it home, boys. We're coming
neutral, man.
We're going to beat the U.S. Virgin Islands here. It'll be a tough one, but we'll beat them.
We're going to have a real problem if England wins the World Cup. Well, we're never going to hear the end of it.
No, we won't.
Imagine if Lewis would have won. Oh, my God.
It would have been.
It's coming home. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Scotland would have left. That would have been the immediate leaving of Scotland. David Coulthard would have said, you know what? You know what I find interesting, too? And they mentioned this on the Grand Tour, is that if you're a really impressive and good Scotsman, Northern Irishman, Welshman, you're considered in the United Kingdom,
right?
Britishman. But if you're a very good guy from England, you're English. As well as if you're very shitty, like David Coulthard, from Scotland, you're just from Scotland. You're not from You're not from Great Britain. You're just from Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a really good point. It is true.
Yeah.
Like Mark Webber, or not Mark Webber. Sorry, Jenson Button from the United Kingdom. David Coulthard, Scotland.
But they do the same, right? Like England's in the World Cup, but it's the
that
Grand Prix of Great Britain.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit confused in terms of when it comes to like the Commonwealth and. So I won't get into that.
Well, it's like four countries into one.
Yeah,
but sometimes like I know Jensen and Lewis compete under the UK flag,
right?
But like again, David Coulthard competed under the Scottish flag, so I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, UK fans.
It's whatever makes England looks better, guys. That's literally what.
The Welsh flag looks best of all of them, obviously. Actually, no, that's a lie. Northern Ireland. I like the Northern Ireland flag.
Kind of similar, but yeah.
No.
I'm thinking of maybe something else then. I'm thinking of like Georgia versus England. Never mind.
I mean, yeah, those would look similar.
Yeah, it's one of our latest podcasts that we've done, so maybe we're not as sharp, but yeah. Anyways, just a wrap on that. It's just like
we've absolutely said nothing about the Grand Prix in the first 7 minutes of this podcast.
But I feel like if you have to tell people how great you are, you're probably not that great. So it's just like let it speak for itself.
I mean, they did have a massive televised wedding.
Where, at the Grand Prix?
No,
the royal wedding.
Oh yeah, that was great, man. I woke up at 4 a.m. to watch the pre-show.
I was up to go to work, so I
did not watch any of that. Yeah, good. But F1.
Right.
Oh yeah, sorry. There was a race this weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a couple days late, but yes, there was a race.
Guys, if you missed the race, I would just fast forward to the last 15 laps after the second safety car, because that was arguably the best.
Watch the first lap as well, though.
And first lap.
Yeah, that's also very crucial on how everything happens.
So lap 1 and then lap, from like 40 to 52.
Before we get to the race, can we talk about Brendan Hartley's crash and
scary stuff?
What a scary incident that was. But as Crofty said, the halo could have came into effect there in a good way, especially if he tilted into the barriers.
Yeah, I think that we see, and even in the race when Carlos Sainz almost lost it going again with Grosjean.
That's right.
Could have tipped over.
He could have tipped over too.
I do agree. I think that thankfully we haven't had the need to use the halo this year. I think that's pretty much the goal for everyone is to let's not make it become a factor. Like we don't want crashes, right? Just to see how it works. But I think you saw that. yeah, the way he went into the barriers, it would have helped. Even the crash he had with Stroll in Canada,
Yeah.
you saw it coming into play.
Yeah, he's
so.
had 2 big crashes in the last 4 races or so, hardly.
Well, that one was just super scary. If you saw the Supermo camera
Oh, yeah.
of when the wishbone just flew off and the thing just exploded or imploded.
Well, it was when he touched the brakes and then just everything went, and they couldn't get that thing repaired in time for the race either.
Could you imagine that, though? Like, going out in the next session, you're in a car that's doing 320K, and you're like, well, if I slam on these brakes, I'm hoping this stops.
Well,
But
that's what he said. He said he's like, I forget who asked him, do you have full confidence in the car? He's like, well, right now there's no floor on it, so no. Fair, man. I'd be the same way. I'd be scared shitless, really.
yeah, he's had some disappointing races, but he's also had a lot of bad luck in terms of this type of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's just and they weren't really sure what it was, and then the FIA made them completely replace their suspension on Pierre Gasly's car. I think before qualifying it was, which that you don't really know how that's going to work out either.
Yeah.
So that was another interesting kind of
So then you're rushing to build a suspension, and then what if you miss a bolt?
right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Interesting.
I think it was because they couldn't figure out what exactly was wrong. They didn't really know, which is another problem.
Well, the
right?
wheel came off. That's step number 1.
Step one, yeah.
I
Failure
can
there.
diagnose that one.
Another thing, though, and I saw this come out in team radio. I don't think it was broadcasted, but Sebastian Vettel was behind Hartley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually in the best of team radio. Thing.
Yeah, and Vettel was asking him if he was okay. So well done
Plus,
to Seb.
I mean, no driver wants to see another driver go through a crazy accident like that, right? I mean, you see that in all motorsports where it's like, oh my God, is he okay? Like, 'cause it could have been the other driver.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And it's pretty safe the way it is now, so we're not seeing sort of the yeah. This is it here.
Brendan, are you okay?
Oh,
Suspension failure.
He's so calm. Yeah, and this was Seb right
Is he
after.
okay? Let me know if he's okay. Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah,
like
so that
real
was nice of him.
concern. Real
Yeah.
concern it was.
So good for Sebastian. I think he's a real sportsman. And I guess we can get to it. This is the Shitting on Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton podcast, episode number 1.
Yeah, it is. If you're a Lewis Hamilton fan, I don't recommend really listening
Don't.
to
Yeah,
this.
you don't want to watch it.
No, watch it. You need to hear this. You need to
fair.
hear some truth.
Fair.
So if we start chronologically, so lap 1, Kimi Raikkonen, obviously, if you guys haven't seen it, Kimi Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton come together. Lewis Hamilton had a poor start. Sebastian Vettel gunned straight past him. Valtteri Bottas got by him. So Lewis Hamilton was P3 after 2 turns. Kimi Raikkonen locks up going into 3.
Which, like, racing incident, 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Fair, he took the
It's the
blame.
start of the race. Too.
Whatever.
Yeah. And if you watch the onboard, Kimi was almost full lock on the steering wheel. It wasn't like, he pulled a Rosberg and
Yeah.
just a slight little correction. I mean, he locked up so he couldn't steer out of it. Like you said, racing incident. Now, I put out the question, was the 10-second stop and go fair? Was it too much?
I was only expecting 5 seconds.
Me too,
But-
because Vettel got the same in France.
Right. But I can understand the 10 at the same time. So, I don't know. I think if you're comparing it to the Vettel incident, it's too much, or it should be reversed, where Kimi got 5 and Vettel got 10. But if you don't take the Vettel scenario into equation, I'd say, okay, 10 seconds, I can understand that. For sure.
I think, personally, I think the 10-second stop and go was too much for something like that. But I do agree that I'd be fine with it if Vettel would have gotten the same one, because
Right.
then we'd see some consistency, which is the whole point, right?
But don't stewards change every race?
But Charlie Whiting is still the main.
Yeah, but it's Charlie Whiting. I
don't
mean, who really ever knows what's
who
going on
knows?
with him?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think he's done a good job, and it's a tough place when you're there. But again, when they said that when lap 1 incidents happen, they look at things a bit differently because they understand it's lap 1. So that's why I'm saying is I don't think a 10-second stop and go is fair for a lap 1 incident. That really, I mean, they just touched. Yeah. It wasn't like he came torpedoing through there.
Where's Danny?
Like our boy Danny Kvyat. But I mean, they touched wheels, and okay, like he did, screw Lewis Hamilton's start of the race for sure. But 10-second and a stop and go too. When we look at other stop and go penalties, Vettel driving into Hamilton, which was dangerous driving, that's the same penalty. I don't think this is dangerous driving from Kimi Raikkonen.
no,
So
definitely not.
I think the biggest issue I found with the penalty was just the consistency in the calls. Let's see some consistency. Same thing we see in World Cup. We see some penalties being called by certain referees, other penalties not being called. So
Right.
what's the rule here? We're okay with the decision as long as there's parity and consistency between one race to the next.
And I think everyone in F1 would be okay with that. I don't see why anyone would complain if it's
I don't see
consistent.
that. I don't see that being a problem.
And I gotta say, a huge props to Kimi Raikkonen, which is what world champions do, Lewis, is he took blame for it. Didn't complain, didn't bitch about it, just said, listen, my fault, my mistake, I deserve the penalty, and that was it.
Yeah, which is fair.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'll give it to you, Kimmy. You know what? You messed up, but mistakes happen. I mean, it's an F1 race.
And once again, he looked fantastic.
Yeah, he did. There's no way he doesn't win an F1 race this year.
Oh, he definitely has to.
He's going to.
I feel it coming too, you know?
Hungry?
Yeah, I think so. He looked real good there
'Cause
last
he's
year.
hungry for a victory.
Hungry for victory.
Pow!
Are you just waiting to say that?
Insert cheap joke here.
I was trying. I had that going.
I think so too. I would pick Hungary. When we get to those predictions, then I think we'll all agree on that one.
Hungary's not next, though.
Right, that's Hockenheim, Germany's next.
I keep forgetting there's a German Grand Prix this year.
Yeah, that's nice to see. And actually on Kimi, I was watching the team radio, and we actually have it. We're going to pull it up. An interesting sort of discussion between Kimi and his engineer. And again, I think another kind of good piece of evidence to show that Kimi still got a lot of fire in him.
Yeah.
Something maybe that we didn't see in the past couple of years. But he was pushing his engineers to sort of give him some sort of strategic advantage. He's suggesting stuff based on what he's feeling in the car, and then he had this to say.
Let's try to be aggressive. Happy, so anyway, to get rid of it.
Understood, Kimi, we are trying. Of course, the 10-second penalty is an issue.
Yeah, but it's gonna be even more issue if we don't clear.
Wait for it.
So I'm not allowed to think anymore, okay?
I mean, just legendary Kimi. You could hear him. It almost looked like he was going through cops and the maggots and baggots and whatever it is.
Yeah.
As he was going through, you could hear it.
Yeah.
And he's saying all that during one of the most difficult quarters on the race in the racing calendar.
Yeah, it was so funny. I love like the Italian engineers. Okay, Kimi, we are trying, working, Kimi. But that was so funny, man. Just like, so I'm not allowed to think, and I guess okay.
That was very Fernando Alonso, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. That was brilliant.
But he's good for that stuff too, Kimi. He is good for good radio clips.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah.
He's got some classics.
He does.
Yeah, I would add that in there for sure. But he was right. He's like, he knew he was in trouble with the penalty, but he's like, yeah, let's be aggressive. I got the pace. I've got the car for it. And yeah, they're kind of.
But does this kind of point out to what we've been saying, where sometimes Ferrari is holding Kimi back for some of that stuff?
True.
Yeah, and that's the problem is that Kimi should be held back.
No, man.
Held back
and that showed it right there. Kimi is an aggressive driver, and he should be going for this. And seeing that on the team radio kind of shows what we've been saying, that they need to do more for Kimi.
Yeah, for sure.
I would agree. And maybe a little criticism is he has been a bit too aggressive. Again, locking up into the first corner.
No, I don't mind it.
But true, yeah.
Everybody.
You want to be aggressive in the first lap to get up ahead, right?
If Danny Kvyat did that, I'd be like, oh, here he goes again. But it's Kimi, so it's okay. You're allowed.
Yeah. It's a reputation thing.
Yeah, it's a reputation thing.
Yeah.
Kimi's won a world championship. It's fine.
Exactly. But I think you bring up a great point. I think if you want to win a world drivers championship, I think you need a strong teammate. I think that's what Mercedes is getting wrong in this season, in the fact that they're sort of Valtteri Bottas is sort of in the same place, and we can kind of skip to that part now after the second safety car where Sebastian Vettel pitted under the safety car. And I think Raikkonen did as well.
Raikkonen did, and both the Red Bulls did.
Both the Red Bulls did.
It was just the Mercedes.
Just the Mercedes that didn't. They kept their tires on.
Flashback to Austria, right? This case, though, I think leaving Lewis Hamilton out there was fine because he pitted not too long ago.
Yeah.
So, if you pit him then, he's sort of out of position. But, with Valtteri, it's like he was struggling on those old mediums versus, 4 cars behind him that had fresh soft tires.
Oh, for sure.
And, yes, Mercedes didn't have a brand new set of soft tires, but I think Brundle said that the soft tires that they had were like 3 laps old. So even that's better.
That's nothing.
So, again, they missed the strategic, pit stop that screwed them in Austria. And again, it screwed Valtteri out of the win because, it was the inevitable after a couple laps. He was just struggling so much with rear grip. He was a sitting duck. So I think they're on the ropes this year, man.
I don't know if they're going to win the Constructors.
I don't think they
I
will.
don't think they will either.
They've had some pretty awful decisions throughout the year.
Yeah, and that's why, I actually was thinking, like, you know what, maybe we'll take a week off or something. Everybody's on a week off after the triple header. And then I saw the comments from Mercedes, and I was like, we gotta do a recap podcast because this is ridiculous. If you guys didn't see the comments made, Lewis Hamilton, he's supposed to do the interviews in Parc Fermé once they get out of the car. He ran into the cool-down room, so they did the interview on the podium, and he said, Ferrari's tactics were interesting, suggesting that it was deliberate.
Right.
James Allison of Mercedes, who, by the way, used to work for Ferrari, said that, the move was either deliberate or incompetent. Toto Wolff sort of echoed the same thoughts. And it was just excuses and sort of just Mercedes were being sore losers. And Lewis Hamilton did come out, the day after, kind of, sort of apologizing, I guess. Not really, though. and with Lewis Hamilton, I guess it didn't bother me as much because I get it. He's a driver. He just came out of the car.
Yeah.
Adrenaline. He's tired. I can understand that. But, to get that from Mercedes, I think that was pretty bad.
No, I agree. And it was nice for Lewis to come out the next day, though.
I mean, I had to pull it up. I couldn't not pull it up if we're going to talk about it.
Oh, this was on the podium, right?
You're up here in second place, but I sensed when you got out of the car you were still pretty unhappy.
Well, my team did an amazing job this weekend, and we've got just so much support, there's so much pressure obviously for us all. Interesting tactics, I would say, from their side, but we'll do what we can to find them.
When I first heard that, when he said their side, I thought he meant his mechanics.
Oh, right.
That's what I thought he meant, or his strategy calls, his team strategy calls. That's what I first thought. And then I saw the comments coming after. I was like, oh, maybe that's what he meant.
Interesting tactics, I would say, from this side. Appearing to look at the Ferrari drivers. Do you in any way think that turn 3 collision was deliberate?
Well, I'd say it's just there's now two races that the Ferraris have taken out, one with Mercedes. And a 5-second penalty.
Look at Sev smirking and Kimi just
He's
like,
trying.
what?
Ultimately, it spoils the race. It's a lot of points that ultimately Valtteri and I have lost in those two scenarios. And of course, it is a racing situation. I don't know. I couldn't see behind me, but I know we just got to work hard to try and position ourselves better so that we are not exposed to the red cars, because who knows when that's going to happen again. So we've got to make sure that we work hard together as a team to try and look out the front row and make sure we're fully ahead of these guys.
Can we pause it for a second?
Yes. Who knows when it's going to happen again? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
well-
not getting to hear anymore.
So, if a Ferrari crashes into a Mercedes, let's say, well, it's the same risk that they wreck their car.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So why would they do that on purpose? It makes no sense.
That was my argument. And again, with the driver, but again, with Lewis Hamilton, it's always the same thing. When he wins, it's always the best fans in the world. I've got the best team behind me, the best people. And then when he loses, it's, he's crying about it almost, if we can say in that part. Again, more understandable when you're a driver, you just come out of a grueling race, fine, whatever. But to come from, a team boss and Mercedes just in general, who have, destroyed everyone in the championship the last 4 years, and now when they have a little bit of pressure coming on their shoulders, well, now they're cracking under it.
Yeah.
And it's like, they didn't mention the fact that, it's like, yes, Mercedes, Ferrari's strategy meeting before the race was, okay, guys, Seb, Kimi, this is what we're going to do. Seb, you're going to get a brilliant start off the line. Hamilton, he's not going to start so well. Bottas, Vettel's going to pass him. Okay, Kimi, this is where you come in. In turn 3, you're going to just punt Lewis off the road, damaging your race. You're going to get a penalty, but we'll come back anyway, okay? All right. Ferrari on 3. 1, 2, 3, break.
Obviously, it's not the team meeting.
Right?
It makes no sense. Obviously, Kimi's not going to go out there and want to just, lolly-daw and crash his car because he wants to race too.
Yeah, he wants to win races. He doesn't want to be the teammate that crashes into other drivers.
That's
so
what
his
Danny
team
Kvyat's for.
Right. Yeah. That's what Grosjean is for.
No, that's
Just
not his
like-
fault.
yeah.
That's not his fault.
Fine, we'll go there later.
It wasn't his fault.
Yeah. But I completely agree. I mean, that's not what they're doing here, you know. And like you said, it
was
doesn't
Ericsson's
only
fault.
Yeah. It doesn't only ruin his race; it ruins Kimi's as well, because Kimi could have been in there for the race win.
Yeah, absolutely.
He finished P3 by the end of it. And another thing too, Lewis, you finished a place ahead of where you were on lap 1 anyway. By he spun on lap 1. By lap 12, he was in P5, P6.
Yeah.
So if you would have finished let's say dead last, if you would have DNF'd, I could understand you'd be being more angry. But I would say be thankful that you finished P2. You're only 8 points behind the championship now. I mean, just because you're British doesn't mean that we're just going to hand you the trophy.
Yeah, it was a good recovery drive for sure from Lewis. I mean, it wasn't too hard when you have backmarkers on DRS straights and whatever. But I mean, remember we said our preview. We said, 2 DRS zones, but most likely, after this podcast goes out, right when it goes out, there'll be a third added. Well, there was a third added. So
as per usual,
we called it.
It's like 3 or 4 we've gotten right for this DRS zone.
Yeah. But that was a dangerous DRS zone, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
was aggressive. Well, you saw it when who spun under DRS?
Grosjean on the first day.
I thought it was during a race too. I thought it was during the race. Someone lost
Marcus
it.
Ericsson.
Marcus Ericsson, thank you. Hefty crashed too, and his DRS didn't close.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, oh, jeez.
I was like, okay, guys, can we just not maybe do that?
Yeah, DRS in that area is probably not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, it led for some great overtakes.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, you have either side.
But yeah, going back to the Mercedes thing, it was they came, and I think that's why Lewis sort of came out the day after and was like, I accepted Kimi's apology, and it was a racing incident because I mean he felt the heat from all the fans.
Yeah, and Kimi's wife.
Yeah, Kimi's. That was the other thing.
Kimi's wife said, if you're gonna cry after you lose, go do ballet or something like that.
She's great.
I actually have it pulled up right over here.
Oh, do you?
Right.
If
yeah,
you cry like a girl
when you lose, do ballet.
Is that your Finnish accent?
Not at all. That was me trying to do an accent that wasn't my own.
Just to be clear, I'm not talking about the driver, but the team who was crying. Fair. Okay, yeah that's fair.
I think that surprised me the most. What Lewis kind of expected, even in the race. I mean, he's like, I got floor damage. I got damaged.
He's talking about floor damage and everything, and
yeah.
Okay, man.
Okay, Lewis.
If you have a little bit of floor damage, whatever.
Fine. Yeah. It was, and they keep telling him, and he's
trying to look for excuses.
Yeah. So, boy, I mean, that was just super frustrating. And honestly, I gotta say, I was thinking of wearing my Ferrari hat, but I'm like, we don't want to seem like too biased. But I don't even care.
I should wear my Mercedes hat.
I was so happy that Ferrari won in Mercedes' backyard.
Oh, I loved it.
And when you heard Vettel and Arriva Bene on the team radio,
yeah, if you couldn't translate that from Italian, we won in their backyard.
Exactly.
Basically.
But even Vettel, like if you could pull up team radio at the end, he's like laughing. He's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Ha. It was so good. Yeah, I think it's all the way at the end. I just loved it. That was.
Also, I just have to say, Vettel.
Yeah, this foot. I think I'm gonna learn Italian by the end of the season.
And the word "ta."
Grazie ragazzi, qui a casa loro. Grazie mille. Grande macchina, grande lavoro, tutta la squadra, grande strategia.
Bye, Seb.
Thank you, thanks. Adesso portiamo la bandiera inglese a Maranello, dai.
See, Maranello till I die. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Probably, I don't know.
But one, that's very good Italian. Very good.
Grandissimo,
really good Italian.
Great Italian.
Like that's for your German.
That's what you get with Europeans, though. It's languages
true.
come like this.
That's true. But very well done. This is a round of applause for Sebastian's Italian.
I was saying to Shaker before you got here, I just noticed this with German Formula One drivers. So we look at Vettel, Rosberg, Heidfeld, Hülkenberg, Schumacher. I mean, list goes on and on. All of them like spotless English, barely any accents.
Well, there's a correlation between German and English, right?
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
Like other than Latin, German's the closest language to English.
Yeah, but it's impressive.
Yeah.
just the amount of languages that they learn, and they all speak, like Rosberg speaks like 5-6 different languages.
I think Hulkenberg speaks a lot too.
Most likely. Same with Vettel too, I'm guessing. So
yeah. I mean, if you can speak Italian, you can speak Spanish for the most part. So
true. Yeah. But yeah, I just love that at the end of the
team
radio.
Well done. No, it's I'm gonna have to learn Italian and maybe be a Vettel translator.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to know because that's all they're sort of one of the only teams that kind of although his engineer does, obviously during the race speak to him in English.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know if there's any regulation against speaking
there
in a
might
different
be.
Language.
Probably not after the race.
Not after the race, but during the race, probably to hide strategies.
During the race, yeah, for strategies and such. Yeah, I could see that.
Because it is open radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Otherwise, every team would be speaking different language.
True.
Then you'd have translators. Teams will hire translators.
Other than Mercedes.
And then it would just be like...
Yeah.
That'd be too much.
That'd be interesting, though. It'd be interesting strategy to do that. So I think now if you're Ferrari, you go into the summer break and you say, forget about Belgium, whatever happens in Belgium. You put all your cards into winning in Monza and finish 1-2 in Monza. Because what happened
huge.
What happened to Ferrari last year in Monza was really embarrassing.
I mean, every year Monza is embarrassing for Ferrari, is it not?
For the past 6-7 years, it has been. Yeah. So could you imagine that though? If they finish P1 and 2 there.
Oh, that's crazy.
If they finish, you're talking about Mercedes 1 and 2, right, or Ferrari?
No, Ferrari.
Okay, good.
And then the Alphas finish 3 and 4.
Toro Rosso 6 and 7.
No, switch those. Actually, you know what? No, I'd have Sauber ahead of.
I'd have Leclerc and a Sauber.
Yeah, so Leclerc, Gasly, Hartley, Ericsson.
I can see that.
There's your top 6.
It's our call right now.
Yeah.
Giovinazzi comes in. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Giovinazzi comes in for Ericsson for the Monza race.
And Jarno Trulli comes out of retirement for one race.
Perfect.
And Fisichella starts in the Renault. We're going back, ladies and gentlemen.
We have the top 8 here.
We should just have a classics race.
We should. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be a lot of fun.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Although, I don't know.
The reaction times wouldn't be there, but
that's what I was about to say, right?
Well, what cars would they use? Would they use their new cars? Would they use the cars from the past? How would you
cars
use
from the past? Classic, 80s Grand Prix.
The one that Brundle drove in that feature at Sky Sports, the old Ferrari that was
no
just
power steering,
cigar. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't think the old guys could do that. They'd have to have power steering.
Yeah, probably.
That would help out a lot for them.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Are we done shitting on Mercedes for now?
I guess so. I mean, we've hammered them pretty good. It's been a good.
I think so. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, in the comments below.
I know a lot of you.
I like this thing because I'm pointing at my phone right now, but
yeah, we'll put in something below you.
Yeah.
I don't know. A lot of people were unhappy with obviously Lewis has his loyal fan base. It'd be interesting to find out how many UK fans are pro, or I heard some fans that were like, well, I don't really like Hamilton, but he's British, so I'll support him.
Right.
So I think you got a lot of those.
I mean, I find with Lewis, it's either you're a massive fan or you just don't like the guy.
For sure.
I appreciate his talents.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I appreciate his talents, but I don't like Lewis Hamilton. I like him as a driver.
If I had Nico Rosberg, but with Lewis Hamilton's success, I'd be very happy.
So I appreciate him as a driver. He does really well, but I can't. It's how I feel about Neymar and his fucking diving.
Yeah, he's the F1's Neymar.
He's really good on the field, but when he dives, it just takes away all his ability for me to like him.
I think this weekend showed why people don't like Hamilton.
Yeah.
And why people hate
for sure.
the Mercedes, monopoly, I guess, if you want to call it.
But then you look at Bottas on the other side. He seems like the nicest guy.
I mean, he's just being quiet, being like, all right, I'll let this shitstorm go around me, and I'll go to the next race.
Being a Finn, yeah.
It's
but,
true.
he's the unlucky loser. I mean, again, Mercedes screwed him in the race. They should have brought him in. And you saw in the post-race interview, they asked him, do you think you should have pitted? What did you think at the time? And he's like, at the time, I thought we probably should have came into the pits.
Yeah. I don't know why. Does he not make that call? Be like, I need tires. And they're like, oh, you're staying out. It'd be interesting to hear the radio from that.
They wouldn't
I don't know if you can hear it, but
yeah, I
they
think
didn't have anything for it on the Best of Team Radio.
Yeah, so it probably.
We don't get a lot of Bottas Team Radios, do we?
No, I don't know. I guess they only pick out the best parts of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we don't hear, I think.
Well, I know in NASCAR, like a fan can pay $15 or $10 or whatever it is, and they get a scanner, and they can scan to every team radio on the track and listen 24/7 during the whole race on whatever they say,
really
swear words and
cool.
everything.
That's awesome.
It's just a radio frequency, so other teams can do it too, right?
Mm.
So that's a big thing. I don't know if they like. That's something I would always love to hear in F1 as well. In see in F1 is if you go to the race, or even if like actually NASCAR has it online too. You have the scanner. You could scan through different team radios online on the internet.
That's cool.
That'd
Why
be
don't?
awesome to
Why
do.
don't? Yeah.
Like,
Why would
and
they?
you pay a subscription for it?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it be. Say it's $150 for the year. It'd probably be more than that for F1. Probably let's say $250 US dollars.
$1,000 a year.
No, that's a lot. I don't know. I still wouldn't pay $250. I'd pay $130 for it. It's the max. $150. I'd pay the max.
Just
$150.
for the scanner, or would you like for as well the fact that you could stream
It should be
F1
part of
at the same time?
No,
Yeah.
just for the scanner and for analytics and a subscription to F1 TV.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be fair.
That would be what you would
that'd
do.
be fair. I'd be okay
Yeah?
with that.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, make it. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Maybe
Get me in the
one day.
marketing department.
Yeah.
Hire
I
me.
mean, they're ripping stuff off our show now, anyways, right?
Yeah,
With the
they are.
DRS
Yeah, they
show.
started their own podcast. What's that all about?
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know what's going on
Nobody
there.
better than us.
F1 podcast. Who wants to hear a F1 inspired F1 podcast in terms of like F1's running it? Oh, I think the decision by Charlie was great, and he also is a god. I don't know if you ever heard, but Charlie Whiting has gray hair, and so does God. So they're basically the same person.
You know who the first guest was, though? Lewis Hamilton.
No way!
Oh my God,
Wow! What a
no
surprise!
Way.
Who would've
I mean,
thought
it'd be
that
great
was
if we
happening?
could get somebody like that, but you know, who does not expect Lewis Hamilton to be the first person on their F1 podcast? Like,
But our interview wouldn't go the way that one went. It was just
No,
like
I mean,
30 minutes
we're-
of Still I Rise.
we're a very open podcast.
Yeah, like it would be like Kevin Magnussen would be our first guest. You know?
No, well,
Daniel
Kevin-
Ricciardo would be
Oh
our
yeah,
first
Danny Rick
guest.
would be pretty good too.
There's- Oh
come
man,
on,
he'd be great.
fit right in with this show.
Yeah, he would.
Like, I mean, yeah,
Uncensored Daniel Ricciardo, where he doesn't have anything to do.
So that's where I think Magnussen would fit in.
yeah,
It's just always uncensored.
or
true.
Alonso. I think Alonso would do really well on our podcast. I mean, he'd just be shitting on his own team.
No, he'd be
the entire-
shitting on us the whole time.
yeah,
I don't know if I like him on that.
yeah. Alonso's very critical. So
Yeah.
It's true.
he'd
Like,
come
what
in
is this
here,
camera setup you have?
Well, why 2 cameras?
Yeah.
Like,
Where's
like,
where's
We
camera
just need
for
one
me?
on me.
we'll work on it during the summer break. They'll have time. They'll fly down from Monaco to here, and they'll.
Yeah, we'll come down do
Yeah.
an episode. Oh, is he gonna party there?
I don't know.
Oh.
Who cares? Oh, now we're being unbiased.
Yeah, that is just it's very unbiased.
No, we still think he's great.
Or
but
biased.
he
No,
needs
he'd
a
be
little.
biased, yes.
Speaking of Magnussen, we'll wrap this up slowly. But Kevin Magnussen and Fernando Alonso had quite the battle on track.
They did, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I mean, K-Mag was a little aggressive, I will say that.
Alonso was super
But
unhappy.
you also have to be in that scenario if you're Magnussen, I think.
Yeah, I think Alonso was trying to overtake him like through like Maggots and Beckett's, which doesn't kind of really work.
Yeah, it doesn't work too well.
So, but yeah, he didn't give an inch. So I mean,
No, it was good
Magnussen
racing.
has been known. As a
And
guy.
Alonso passed him in the end, and it was a good battle, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, P8, strong.
Oh, here
weekend
it is.
for
Here it
us.
is. Here it is. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get it, guys. Here we go.
I mean, that was a little aggressive.
That was. Like here, you can't really overtake.
This is
there.
fine, because obviously it's the corner.
Well, you'll get another shot at.
This, I'm okay with that block, because you can't really pass into there.
That's incredible that he knows which
We've
turn it
reported
was.
To the FIA, they are looking at it now. Head down.
What's there to look at, I think he said.
Oh, I love this comment. Right here.
No, that's a no, Fernando.
I'm surprised he didn't go with the karma. Karma.
Yeah.
Well, who was that? Where
Palmer.
Where is Palmer?
Where is Palmer?
Palmer has retired. Karma. God.
And yeah, just by the way, if anybody out there that says Sebastian Vettel can't overtake,
This
Oh,
is
what
fucking
an
down.
overtake.
What
My
an overtake.
goodness.
let's just watch it right here. Oh, no.
Well, it's
Oh, we can watch
Fernando
this one
again. That's okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Here it is. Here it is.
Should be a GIF. Very nice move.
Head down, head down. Bicep grande.
Wait,
That's
is
Kimi, actually. That was
Seb
Kimi.
talking to himself?
No, that's
No,
Maurizio.
yeah,
That's his
oh,
team
okay.
boss.
Okay.
This is Kimi on the radios.
Yeah.
Go.
Bicep. Grande. It was a grande race, that's for sure.
It was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
If we could get the last 12 laps, I mean, when you saw just like the top 6 in the same row and like just
Yeah,
battling
that
each
was
other, it
cool.
Incredible, absolutely
And
incredible.
then poor Max with a gearbox failure, stuck in 4th gear, had to retire the car.
Yeah, his streak of 3 consecutive podiums is over, but now Raikkonen has that streak.
Oh.
France, Austria, and now Silverstone or Britain. So 3 in a row for Kimi. I guess we can take a look at the championship standings just before we go. And it's shaking things up, that's for sure. Like we said before, 8-point lead for Sebastian Vettel heading into Germany. And Raikkonen now,
Yeah, it's started to lose
More in the mix.
yeah,
But at the same time, get a race win in there. Still not far off.
right. I mean, Valtteri's lost his grip, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think Valtteri and down. I mean, I know Danny Rick and Valtteri are only 2 points separated from each other. But I mean, Daniel would be the number 1 driver in Red Bull right now. So you can still say he has a sniff.
And let's just take a look at the constructor standings. What's it looking like?
Oh my, it's close.
Yeah, close.
20 points.
And then Red Bull far
Look
behind.
at battle for
Midfield.
the battle for 5th. All separated by
tight.
3 points.
It's real toy.
And Haas still kind of has a shot at 4th with Renault.
Yeah, I mean, well, they all would at that point. There's
Yeah.
only 3 points.
I'm seeing the
separating them.
biggest comeback by Williams. I don't know about you guys.
Williams is not coming back on Sauber. If anything, Sauber will finish ahead of Toro Rosso.
You gotta have faith, man.
It was so funny. Like Williams started from the pit lane. They're like, "Well, at least
they
we
almost
don't
got
have
a crash.
Yeah, at least we don't have to worry about lap 1 incidents."
Like right in
Next thing
front
you
of
know,
them.
yeah, who's it? Like Perez was
Yeah.
turned around the other way. That was scary. But yeah, horrible weekend for Williams. But what else is new? Disappointing for Sauber. Double DNF, pit stop error for Leclerc, and then obviously Ericsson had his spin. Let's see, who else can we run through? Romain Grosjean, man, what are we gonna do about this guy?
It's not a big deal. I like Roman.
Yeah, I don't know. Who would you blame in that one? Was it Sainz's
No one.
fault or no one? Just racing
It's
incident.
just racing incident.
Yeah. Would you blame it on tactics? Would you say?
I would blame the Brazil loss on tactics, but no, not the crash.
I don't know. I guess yeah. I guess you just chalk it up to both of them.
Yeah, it's one of those incidents.
Yeah.
I don't see any issue with it. It happens. I mean, you're racing wheel to wheel through a tough corner like that.
True.
I mean, maybe Grosjean understeered a bit, but at the same time, like, Sainz gave him just enough room, so
Yeah, it is what it is.
it's one of those incidents.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that was pretty much about it from Great Britain.
Mhm.
So another good race, very very good race.
A great British race.
Great
Wow.
British race.
Ah,
Yeah.
ouch. Tell us what you think.
What is that? Oh, on the website. Yeah,
They
they've done a good job with their website.
have actually.
So next race, we finally got a week off. So there probably won't the triple header. Hope you guys enjoyed it because it most
Yeah.
likely won't come back for 2019.
Yeah, because I mean, Seb had that neck injury, and you have to think that's wear and tear.
Yeah, I think the triple header was a real pain in the neck.
Ah. Well
we just hitting all of them today, guys. we got a little break, so you might as well get them all out.
That's right. That's right. It would
Got
be
a
nice for all the teams. Most importantly, all the people working in the teams itself.
Yeah, I
to
gotta go home to
get a
their
break.
families for like 2 days
2 days.
before they go over to Germany.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah,
Then another back-to-back. Like
That's
that's
right.
5 races in 6 weeks. That's a lot of racing.
yeah. Alonso Alonso had like 7 races
true.
in 7 weeks.
Be Hartley and Ricardo that would have to travel the furthest at this point. Everybody's pretty much like close to Europe, aren't
Well,
they?
they're stationed out of Monaco. They live in Monaco.
Oh.
Yeah,
I know
Ricardo
that.
doesn't really go back to Australia. I don't think until like the season ends.
Yeah, I think so.
Which makes sense
Because
just
it's
how
summer
far
at
it
that
is.
point.
Yeah.
In
Right.
Australia too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I think it's July 23rd. The race is in Germany. So
22nd.
22nd. F1 returns. Yeah, it's right there. My bad.
3:10 Eastern time. The race. No, it's not. That's their time.
Locally, yeah.
That's their
Is
time.
9:30 at
German
night for us?
time. For us, everyone watching in New York City and around there, that would be. Can you convert to your local time?
I'm
Thanks.
gonna say 9:10.
It says
9:10 a.m.
There we go.
Nice one, Chris. You should have done the maths. 9:10 a.m. Eastern, which is okay. I can wake up for that. And Hungary is the exact same thing.
And that will be the weekend after. So yeah, like Tyler said, another doubleheader. F1 returns to Germany. So we were at Lewis's home race
For the first time in 2 years. 1 year. It's a 1 year break.
1 or 2, yeah. It's been off and on last couple of years here and there. So the track is Hockenheim. Sorry, folks, it is not the long Norderschleife Nürburgring, unfortunately, but Hockenheim is a great track.
Hockenheim's a good track.
Very good
Nothing
track.
wrong with that.
Yeah, so we'll be taking a look at the track a little bit closer in our preview.
We'll be predicting where the third DRS zone will be added in.
Because we
Yes.
will just expect it to be there.
Yes,
Exactly.
most likely.
And we'll have power rankings out by then, so we can do an update on power rankings.
Oh yeah, Charles Leclerc probably number 1. I just know F1 power rankings are weird, so I'm just taking a shot at it.
And I think that's it. Anything else from this race?
No, I'm excited for Germany.
Me too. Yeah, I'm glad we got all of our Mercedes problems out of the way.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be more.
Until Germany.
Yeah.
Until Germany. Yeah.
Sure, there'll be more.
We'll see how it goes. We're just criticizing, but Mercedes, come on. You guys are 4-time world champions. We don't need to hear that tinfoil talk out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it for me.
Great. Awesome. Everybody, thanks again for joining us. It was a good British Grand Prix. I guess good luck to England. Not really. In the World
Yeah,
Cup.
next time we come back, there'll be a World Cup
Hey,
winner.
you know what? I guess it's a little far away, but Belgium, 26th of August, after the summer break, they could be World Cup winners.
Yeah.
And there could be a party, not with Jamie Vardy, but
I think by the time
with Moussa Dembele or Jan Vertonghen.
by the time this is uploaded, I think the game will have roughly about started. So we'll see how it goes. It's Tuesday, right? Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
That's semifinal, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You're going for Belgium winning?
Yeah.
Over
there's-
France?
Yeah, there's more.
Okay.
Well, there's more
Interesting.
Spurs players. But
No, I get that. I get that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
who's
we'll
right.
see.
I don't mind France either. So
If England does
No,
win,
I am honestly sorry.
as I'm wearing England,
I'm honestly very excited for this. For these top 4 teams.
Yeah,
it should be a good World Cup. Much better than the last one.
I mean, this is something different.
exactly.
Yeah.
No
That's
Germany,
a
no
big
Brazil.
thing.
It's a good day.
I don't know. I was not expecting Germany to go past the group stage, but you know what? They didn't. So
There you go. Yeah. And if England wins, Hamilton's going to Russia to watch. So
Oh, is he?
yeah, that's what he said. Anyway,
Well,
we'll see.
I don't know about that. When's the next race?
22nd. The
22nd.
finals on the 15th.
Yep.
So
There
yeah,
you go.
he can make it.
Week off, all right? So
Maybe he'll complain about the airfare to Russia too.
I think we'll end on that.
Yeah.
As usual, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and you catch all of our latest episodes. Everybody's just pointing down. Follow us on
Click on this.
Viceb.
I don't know.
Subscribe to our Grandissimo podcast
Ah,
on
well.
YouTube. And stay up to date with all of our latest news. We'll be back within the week for the German Grand Prix preview. We've got a week off without Formula One, so I'm sure we'll miss it. But everybody,
Enjoy the World Cup final.
exactly, and
That's why they didn't schedule a race that weekend.
they're
So
very smart, just like us.
Just clued in.
Thanks again, guys. We always appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time. And we'll be back soon. Peace.